Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Whip's Football Film Room. Today, we're going to rewind the clock to Super Bowl 56, Rams versus Bengals. We're going to be taking a look at how Sean McVay authored one of their 6-play, 75-yard scoring drives en route to their game-winning 23 points. Let's get to it. Okay, so to start the drive, the Rams call a simple dive play from a trips bunch formation. This is one of the simplest run concepts in the book since it just calls for every lineman to block whoever is aligned over them. After that play loses yardage, the Rams are behind the sticks, so they go to a Salem route combo from a 2x2 set. A Salem route combo, as I have learned it, is designed for the interior route to sit directly in front of the linebackers, drawing them down out of the window that the outside receiver's dig route will fill. This is coached to be a high-low read for the quarterback since he will look for the dig upfield before progressing to the hitch route below. That play goes incomplete, so now it's 3rd down and 11. In long-distance situations, the Rams lean on empty sets to expose mismatches and better ID the coverage. Here we see a linebacker aligned with a running back on the edge, something that would not happen if it was zone coverage since the matchups aren't essential in zone. The deep crossing routes are perfect for attacking man coverage, and the Rams convert on 3rd and 11. On 1st and 10, the Rams come out in a 3x1 closed set, meaning there's nobody wider than the line of scrimmage to the right side. The receiver, Van Jefferson, runs a fly motion, signaling a whole host of possible plays for the defense. This play is a naked bootleg running back wheel throwback. Again, naked bootleg running back wheel throwback. Because Matthew Stafford is rolling out of the pocket with no blockers in front of him, we call that a naked bootleg since he has no protection. The play is designed to get the defense flowing left with the play action, then right with the route combo, only for the running back to be wheeling down the opposite sideline wide open. Next play. 1st and 10 and Van Jefferson is set in fly motion to distract the defense. We're in a 2x2 condensed set, and this time it's an inside zone split run, with the Cooper Kupp being the split blocker coming to kick out the last defender on the line of scrimmage, creating the cutback lane. Now here's the dagger. This is a 3x1 set. I call it condensed since the receivers are off the line of scrimmage, but it has similar principles as the closed set 2 plays ago. The play starts with fly motion again, and it's another naked bootleg with the primary read being the corner route from Cooper Kupp. This is a 3-level read with the quarterback being coached to look high to the corner, intermediate to the drag, and then low to the flat route. Before we get into how Sean McVay authored this scoring drive, let us first take a moment to explain the offensive scheme and its history. If you're an avid football fan, you may be familiar with the wide zone offenses that have swept the league in the last decade. The offense is built off the outside zone run, which stretches the defense laterally to capitalize on the defense's mistake when they allow a lane to open up. The passing offense is built off the run, heavily utilizing play-action bootlegs and rollouts. This scheme has been popularized by San Francisco 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan. Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan stem from the same coaching tree started by Kyle's father, Mike Shanahan, who coached the Broncos to 2 Super Bowls in the 1990s. See, Sean and Kyle coached together in Washington under Mike Shanahan until 2013. They both took offensive coordinator roles afterwards until being hired by their respective teams in 2017. Sean McVay's scheme is like Shanahan's, but with 2 major differences. McVay's scheme is based out of 11 personnel, and he relies heavily on condensed formations. 11 personnel just says 1 running back and 1 tight end on the field, leaving 3 wide receivers. This greatly boosts the effectiveness of the passing game compared to 21 or 12 personnel that takes a wide receiver off the field and replaces him with an extra tight end or running back. Going back through the touchdown drive, we can see that all 6 plays are 11 personnel. The reason McVay does this is for the illusion of complexity. He wants to be able to run a ton of plays out of the least amount of formations and personnel groupings possible. By basing heavily on 11 personnel, 86% in 2021, 9 percentage points higher than second place. McVay can make everything look the same and make the passing attack more threatening. The use of condensed formations leads to more versatility in route combos for the wide receivers. Typically, the slot receiver is regarded as the most difficult to defend one-on-one since he has both in and out-breaking routes at his disposal. This design again lends to the illusion of complexity, given that so many more route combos are available from any condensed formation versus a spread formation. Now let's talk about how Sean McVay leveraged his scheme and play calling to create this scoring drive. This first down dive play is simply intended to pick up a few yards to create a shorter second and third down. When the opposite happens and they lose a yard, McVay dials up the Salem concept that we explained earlier. From the Bengals' tendencies, we know that they are a cover one heavy team, and that's exactly what they get here. You can tell by the nickel corner being pressed up on his man and following him throughout the entire route. The condensed formation makes it impossible to press the outside receivers, so they play off-man coverage with outside leverage, which greater exposes them to the mid-tier in-breaking routes like the dig route and Salem. Cooper Kupp is wide open on this play, but the pressure is enough to force an errant throw. Now it's 3rd and 11, so McVay wants to go empty so he can help Stafford ID the defense. Teams will typically put the tight end or running back wide and empty to see who the defense decides to cover them with. To McVay, though, this initial empty set is too spread for his liking, so he motions the tight end and running back in to condense the formation as he likes. With the widest guys still being well inside the numbers, the defense can't leverage the sideline as an extra defender. The Bengals have been giving cover one all day, and this is the call again here. You can tell because 1, the linebackers on the running back, and 2, the corners have outside leverage, meaning they want to funnel routes inside to the single high safety and the low hole linebacker. The deep crossers pattern is perfect for this coverage since it crosses the safety's face, forcing him to pick one or the other, but not both. Now it's 1st and 10 again, and McVay can go to whatever he wants. Pay attention to this pre-snap fly motion by Van Jefferson. Over the next 3 plays, he will run the same motion, and it has a couple of functions. 1, the fly motion can be used to get a player in motion while the defense is static. This has obvious advantages if he were to receive the ball on a handoff or pass, since his momentum will be greater than that of the nearest defender. This momentum can also help in blocking situations for the same reason. 2, motion can change the formation, forcing the defense to reveal their coverage by how they adjust. This is the motion's functionality here, as the ball is snapped long after the receiver's outside the box. We saw the play before how the matchup can reveal man or zone coverage. Well, motion does the same by seeing if the defender aligned over the man in motion will follow or not. Here, no one follows, so Stafford knows that it's likely zone coverage. This means that if the misdirection works in moving the defensive attention, then the running back has a better chance of being forgotten on his backside wheel route as we see here. Let's also talk about the misdirection here. As I said before, the wide zone offensive scheme builds its passing game from play action bootlegs and rollouts. This toss action that the O-line or running back are running is a very routine method of setting up wide zone. It does a great job getting the defense to bite because it fits the overall concept of the offense. Again, we're in 1st and 10, but now we're looking at a red zone section of the play sheet. McVay knows that he has defense on his heels after 2 plays took him 60 yards. Remember, McVay wants his offense to have the illusion of complexity, meaning everything looks the same, but there are so many plays ran out of the same looks. We've got another condensed formation, and Van Jefferson is set in fly motion one more time, except this time the motion is used to alter the defense's run fits. Because the ball snaps so that Jefferson is a threat to get the ball, the defense must adjust how they fit the gaps in the O-line so that they aren't out of position for the jet sweep. This is a good part of why this cutback lane opened up. While the split zone design is meant to emphasize a cutback lane anyway, the motion right definitely helps defense flow that direction and create a lane. When McVay can get successes on 1st down runs, it makes the play action game on short down and distances that much more effective, and those plays are the heavy hitters. Lastly, 2nd and 5 and the offense has been humming for 3 plays in a row now. The last 2 plays look similar, and this one is no different. Condensed formation with pre-snap fly motion to confuse the defense. The past two plays have both been run actions to the left, and this play is no different with the wide zone action to naked bootleg right. Since it's a pass though, the motion has the added benefit of tipping off the coverage. This time, it's zone, likely some sort of cover 3 match since every defensive back has their eyes in the backfield and no one follows their closest man. Now the Bengals actually have this covered up pretty well, except the right corner gets caught looking in the backfield for a little too long and is enough time for Cooper Kupp to get behind him on the corner route for 6. This is the point to the video. That corner was conditioned to get stuck in the backfield by McVay's play calling throughout this drive and likely the rest of the game too. While yes, it could just be bad fundamentals by him, I like to think that all the misdirection and crossing routes and play action did enough to truly make him second guess what he was seeing. This wasn't the only time Sean McVay did this, as it's how his entire offense runs every season. Using the illusion of complexity, Sean McVay put on a masterclass for how to author a scoring drive.